welcome back to another episode of Build with the Plan. I'm Coach David here. Today I want to talk about something that is very, very simple, yet probably the hardest thing to wrap your head around when it comes to growing your business. And that thing is, the hardest thing to do is to break out of your old habits. That's right. The habits that got you to where you are. If you've been in business for any length of time, then you have developed habits to help you run your business, and they got you where you are now. But here's the key though. If you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to change some of those habits. And the biggest challenge when you are trying to grow like that is yourself. It's your old habits. It is so easy to fall into those old habits. Now, when I was running my business in the past, I ran it for over 25 years. So I had these ingrained habits because that was how many of you said, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And your immediate answer is going to be, I know what's best. I've done this to get where I've gotten. This is the best way to do this. If you've said any of those answers to someone that was challenging you to change, then those are the old habits that are holding you back. That's what I'm talking about. The biggest challenge for you to get to the next level isn't learning a new strategy or having a plan. It is yourself. Unfortunately, if you've been in business for any length of time, then it's your old habits that are going to hold you back. Now, there are only a couple ways that you can get over that. One is something dramatic happens to you. Whether you end up going bankrupt, end up closing your business and realizing, wow, I did a bunch of dumb things like I did. When I had my business, see, that's the thing. I did okay. I grew my business. It was successful to a point, but I always hit the ceiling. I couldn't get past that ceiling. I never experienced that financial and time freedom that I was shooting for. So what happened to me was something catastrophic. I burned myself out, and that was the big change in my life, or the big event in my life that got me to think differently. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of you out there do the same thing I do, and that's why I have that I'm producing this Build with a Plan podcast, because I'm hoping to help some of you avoid these pitfalls and not pay the price that I paid for you to be successful. So how do you get over that? How can you do it without that catastrophic event? It is your vision. It needs to be bigger than you are now. So this is where I want you to think about. I may have talked about this in the past. It's, where do you want your business to go? What do you want from your business? Now, this is super important, and you need to be crystal clear in this, because some of us want more money. Some of us want more recognition. Some of us want to be busier. And some of us want more free time. There are different motivational factors depending on what type of personality you are. So I'm not going to get into those types of personalities at this point. What I want you to think about is what motivates you. What would excite you to get you out of bed? Now, this isn't, do the thing you love and you'll never work a day in your life. No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, if your business achieved this level of success, what would it allow you to do? What would you be able to do that you're not doing now? This is something that needs to excite you more than just, oh, I don't have to worry about paying my bills. Now, mind you, financial security is a motivating factor for some people, but I want you to go beyond that, beyond having all your bills paid. because you're most likely doing that now, and if not, you're very close to it. I'm talking to the part of you that says, I want something more. Okay? And you need to build this vision on where you want the business and what you want from it. And why this is so important is because this is going to be your motivator. This is that catastrophic event that's going to happen to you, but in a good way, not in a bad way. So I want you to look at it. What is it that you want? And what is your take-home pay? What are you driving? What does excite you? Is it the travel? Is it your vehicle? Is it toys? Do you want boats and ATVs and that type of stuff? Or do you want this? Do you want to collect cars? I don't know what it is that you want, but that's for you to decide. And once you've created that vision for yourself, that is what you lean on when you want to start changing those habits. And it does take time to change habits. Reading a book, reading different books that can help you, business books, strategies, finding yourself either a mastermind group to be part of, or an accountability partner, or even a coach. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend a coach because all the top athletes out there, it's easy to lean on the athletes because they are at the top of their game. But the only reason they are at the top of their game is because they've had coaches along the way, sometimes multiple coaches at the same time, to help them see what they're not seeing, helping them develop the proper habits to make sure that they can grow their business to where they want to, or as an athlete, get to where they want to. If you're a baseball player and you're hitting 250, which is a fairly average batting average, but you want to get to 285, 290, then you need to change some of the habits. You need to do some adjustments to your swing to make sure that you are making better contact. Maybe you're able to pick up the ball a little bit better, see which way it's spinning. Your timing, do you do a big step, a little step, how do you grip the bat? There's all these little things. Where is your elbow when you're making the swing? Now, that's very difficult to do when you are the batter. You're swinging. You can't see everything that's going on. So that's why a coach, or at least an accountability partner, comes into play. Accountability partner, it needs to be someone that's not just a friend. It needs to be someone that will be straight with you and hold you accountable for the steps and the goals that you set for yourself. I mean, if it's just a friend that lets you off the hook, then that's really just a friend. It's not an accountability partner. You want someone that is going to challenge you and make sure that you're moving in that right direction and helps you see some of the old habits that are holding you back. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this because this, there's probably millions of personal growth books out there and lots of gurus. And of course, Tony Robbins has made millions, if not billions of dollars from helping people change their habits. Why? Because it's difficult to do. But the main key thing is you need to have a vision, something that motivates you more than where you are now. Because if it's not motivating you, then you're not going to change your habit. You're just going to keep doing what you're doing. So let's not let it be, a catastrophic event. I know I'm making a big deal about that, like an event that shakes your world like it did with me. Let's create something more positive, a bigger vision for yourself and for your business and perhaps your family. What you could do for your family, and maybe it isn't just your family. Maybe though everyone's looked after. Maybe you want to help people outside your family. Whatever it is that motivates you, that's what you need to figure out, create it, write it down, and have it so that you can look at it on a regular basis because there's going to be times you're going to start moving along, you start making some of those changes, and then you're going to slip into an old habit, or you're going to question yourself. Do I really need to do this? That's when you review your vision and go, is this decision going to get me closer to that vision, or keep me where I am, or take me away from it? That's really all you need to do. Will this help me get closer to that vision? And that's really what you need. You need something that you can look at to work towards. And once you've got that personal vision of what you want the business to look like, now you can create a vision. That's why people do create vision statements for their business, so they can share with all the staff, so people know that they're all going in the same direction. But right now, I want you to focus on yourself. I want you to start with the vision, figure out where you want to go with the business, what you want from it, and that's going to be your catalyst for change. Because believe me, if you don't make changes, then you're going to hit that glass ceiling like I did, and you won't be able to get past it. So hopefully you found this interesting. Please like and share and let people know about these podcasts. I don't really have any advertising, so the only way this will grow is if you let people know about it. And if you have any questions, please, drop them down below. Send me, on all the socials at your FS Matrix. That's your F as in Frank, S as in Sally, Matrix on all the major socials. Love to hear from you. Share, like, all that fun stuff. Until next time, this is Build with a Plan with Coach David.